Hey, what's up YouTube? In this tutorial, we're going to be installing a dual boot of Windows and Linux on a computer. So for this tutorial, we're going to be using Debian. You can use basically pretty much any Linux distro you want, but I'm going to be using Debian here. And without further ado, let's get started. So you'll need, first off, you will need the Debian ISO image, and you will also need an app called Rufus. I will link both of those in the description. Rufus you can get from Rufus's homepage, or you can get it from the Microsoft Store. So I have already downloaded both of those files, so I'm going to open Rufus here. So we want to launch Rufus, and now here we want to plug in our USB drive. And yes, I am using a ridiculously small 1 GB flash drive for this tutorial because it's the best I have. And you want to select your flash drive from the list. If you just plug it in there, it should auto detect it. But if for whatever reason it doesn't, just select it from the list. And then under boot selection, you want to select disk image or disk or ISO image. And then you want to click select, and then select your Debian or whatever Linux distro you're using, ISO, and then partition scheme. If your computer has UEFI, you want to select GPT. If it doesn't, you want to select MBR. For target system, your only option is BIOS or UEFI, so you want to obviously select that. I have BIOS or UEFI on my BIOS, so I'm just gonna keep it in BIOS mode and just leave it on MBR. And then for format options, you can give the volume a label. I'm just gonna call it Debian installer. And FAT32 file system is Linux and Windows compatible, so we want to use that. And then we want to click Start, and we want to write it in ISO image mode. And then we want to click OK, and it's going to just give us this warning. So we're just going to click yes here, and it's going to give us another warning about erasing all data on the flash drive. There's nothing on here anyways, so click OK, and then it's going to create our bootable Linux installer. So this is going to take some time, and so I'm going to pause the video here, and I'll be back when it's done. I'm back, and you're getting a little bit of a face reveal here. Our USB drive has been created, so it is now time to boot into our Linux installer. So make sure you have the USB flash drive ready, plug it in, and then we want to turn it on and immediately start spamming the boot menu key. For me, that's F2. It varies depending on your PC manufacturer. So yeah, you can just go look it up on another computer, and then you can power it on. Just start pressing that key. And so now we're in the BIOS settings. So now we want to go over to save and exit. And you want to select our USB drive. The SATA ST9320325AS is my hard drive, and the SATA Machida DVD RAM UJ8AOASW is my DVD drive. So we want to select the name of our USB flash drive, hit enter, and it's going to boot from that flash drive. And we want to select graphical install in this menu here. And it's going to boot into our Linux installer. And we want to select our language here. If you can understand this video, that means you probably speak English, so click continue. And for the region, you're going to select your region here. My region is Canada. Continue. And American English keyboard works. So this can take some time, so I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'll be back when it is done. Oh wait. Oh yeah. When you're asked about network stuff, this automatically selected one, which I don't want to read out because it's so long, works. Click continue. And then it's going to ask you to connect to a network. I'm going to select that one, which is my network. And that's my security key, and yeah, it's just setting up my network. And then it's just going to do some more, is there a word for that? Taking a long time? Whatever, it's going to do some more stuff that's going to take a long time, so I'm going to pause it. Oh, no, I'm not actually. This is actually running faster than it does when I do it on a virtual machine to, like, test it for this. I'm going to call it, how about, Debian computer, and I'm gonna click continue. Oh, that's fine. Okay, fine. Debian computer without a space. There we go. And you don't have to enter a domain name here, just click continue there. And then a password, I'm going to set a password. And I'm going to enter it again to verify it. Those two passwords look different. PASSWORD. I always set my passwords to password, like if I have to set a password at all for anything. Password. Continue. And it's gonna set a name for the new user. I'll call it Rowan computes. Continue. Oh, yeah, it has to be lowercase. Okay, that's fine. Continue. And then I'm going to set a password for the new user. Password. And I'm in Pacific time. Continue. And now it's going to partition my disk. Now, because this is a dual boot tutorial, I'm going to select manual and select continue. If you're just installing this on your computer and just having it take over the entire disk, you can just select guided use entire disk. I'm going to select manual, and so now I'm going to select my hard drive here. And see, we have this partition, and I'm going to select it to use as ext4 works, and then I want to resize the partition. And then it's going to ask me to confirm, and I'm going to say yes and continue, and then I'm going to select the new size for the disk here. So I'm going to, since this disk is 319.5 gigabytes, I'm gonna just give it 100. I'm just gonna split it 50-50 and give each partition 110 gigabytes. And it's just gonna do some disk stuff. So this can take some time. So I'm gonna pause the video here and be back when it's done. And now that's done. So now we want to select our newly created free space, which takes up half of the disk. And then we want to double click on there, and we want to automatically partition the free space. All files in one partition. Continue. And see, we have all our partition stuff there, blah blah blah. Finish partitioning and write changes to disks. Continue. And write changes to disks. Yes. Continue. And so it's going to just format the partitions, and then it's going to, yeah. It's just going to install our Linux system now. So this can take an hour or more, so I'm going to pause the video here and I'll be back. And so now it wants to configure the package manager, so we want to select your country here. Click continue, and any of these mirrors work. Just use the top one. And I don't. Click continue here. Then it's going to configure apt, whatever that is. So that's going to take a while. So yeah, I will be back when it's done. I'll pause here. And when it asks you about this popularity contest thing, it's really your choice. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna select yes and click continue. And then it's just gonna do more stuff. So I'll pause it here. Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. Wow, I want everything. Yes, I want everything. XFCE, GNOME Flashback, KDE Plasma, Cinnamon, Mate, LXDE, LXQT, Web Server, SSH Server, and Standard System Utilities. Yes. Continue. Alright, so I'll pause it here now. And when it asks you to select the display manager, GDM3 works. You can really select any, but GDM3 is what I recommend. Click continue. And then it just keeps going. I'll pause it here and I'll be back when it's done. So now it's asking if you want to install the bootloader. Like it says here, it's gonna try to auto detect any OSs that you already have installed on your computer. It got the OS wrong. I have Windows 10 installed. It thought I had Windows Vista. But anyways, I think that's the OS that we're after. So yeah, if you're doing a dual boot and your operating system is listed there, then you can install the bootloader. If not, don't, but probably it will be detected. Just say yes here. And so click continue. And you want to select your hard drive here. Just don't select your flash drive. Because that's really all the disks that there are. At least for me, there are. There is only my flash drive and my installer and my hard drive. So yeah, you want to select that. Click continue, and then it's going to install the bootloader, which can take some time. So I'm going to pause the video here, and I'll be back when it's done. So the installation is finished. So now it's time to boot into our new system. So we were going to click continue here, and then it's just going to do some last minute installation finishes, and then it's just going to reboot. And see, in this boot menu, we have Debian or we have Windows 10. We're going to select Debian, and it's going to boot into our Debian system. So this can take some time, usually not too much, but it can take some time. So I'm just going to pause it here, and I'll be back when it's done. And we're booted. So now I'm going to select my username here and log in. And here we are. This is our new Debian system. So yeah. That's it. That is how to install a dual boot of Windows and Linux on your computer. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And oh yeah, I have an Internet Archive account where I upload pre-made virtual machine disks of of basically every operating system. I have over 100 uploads. I highly recommend that you go check it out. I'll link it in the description. Yeah. I guess that's that. I'll see you next time.